have definitely some stuff to talk about.
Okay, cool.
All right, so right now it's just me and Caleb. We moved to a Saturday time slot, so it could be that people have forgotten that we moved to Saturday because we have both Mark and Victor, I believe, are planning on coming, and possibly Gregory Davis as well. But the topic today is finding Creative Commons music. And so what we might do a bit today is some screen sharing, if I can figure out how to do that. Oh, yeah, okay. Here's the button for the screen share. So that we might do. I've got some websites up to where we can go through and basically see how to look at those particular websites.
Did you stop your camera, Doug?
No, I may have just clicked on. So I clicked on when I was looking for the button for screen share. I clicked on the tile, and then I think I may have clicked on view to go. Yeah, I don't know how to toggle. Like what happens when I toggle tile view. It may also be that because you have some noise in the background, that it's just picking up that noise instead of me for the video. I don't know.
I'm just not getting. I'm getting you for the video, but I'm just not getting. I'm getting sound, but I'm not getting your visual.
Oh, interesting.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. So I just put it into the toggle so that they can see both of us. Do you see that? Does it change your view when I do that? Okay. No. I know that changes it on the video, so I don't know. Oh, I think if you click on yourself, then it'll just show you. So like there should be the pictures of me. So I think if you click on yourself again, then it'll go back to the normal view where it picks up who's talking. I don't know. But if I do end up doing screen share, though, it doesn't really matter. And as far as the video, right now we should be in towel view, and it does look like Victor is planning on coming. So I don't know. So the topic today I mentioned was finding CC music. I have a bunch of stuff that I can show. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about finding Creative Commons music?
Not really. No.
Okay. Cool. So what I will do is I will go ahead and share my screen. I will try to anyway.
I think Victor's coming in here.
Yeah. So I press the screen share button. I don't see anything that suggests that happened. So
no, I don't know what's going on in your screen. I can see Victor. Hey, Victor.
Yeah, Victor. Well, that chat button works.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Victor?
Where you have been so long?
Oh, just really busy with my family and stuff. I'm sorry, man. I feel like I neglected you.
I was listening.
Interesting.
Sorry about that.
So I feel like I've shared my screen before using Jitsi, so I don't know. Do one of you want to try sharing your screen real quick, just so we can see if that's actually working? Because it's kind of a bummer if I can't do that.
Yep. I just did.
Yeah. Okay. So that's working for you. Interesting. So I may need to log out and log back in, which is unfortunate because of the video situation. Yeah, I don't see anything in the settings that would. It's not like giving me a any sort of like you know, it doesn't look like that. That it's you know, that there's any sort of like permissions issue or anything. You know, like it just looks like it's not doing anything at all.
Well, you want to log out and log back in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump out and then jump back in.
Oh, is it gonna cancel our meeting or what?
No, you guys will still be on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, how's your life going, Victor?
Quite depressive right now.
Oh, that's upsetting. Are you okay?
Summer is end, so.
No. Yeah, we're gonna go. Oh, well, I had video on Doug for like 1 second and then it froze again.
Oh, so it's freezing. The video is.
Yeah.
It's not just going black.
No, It's freezing.
That is odd.
Victor is. Can you see Doug moving around, or did the video freeze for you?
It frozen for me too.
Yeah.
This is connection non-optimal. I mean, I don't know why.
My music, by the way. Thank you for buying my music.
You muted yourself, Caleb.
Thanks for making awesome music, Victor.
Yeah, thanks for making awesome music. I've got like 4 or 5, whatever the max is there on my Wi-Fi. So I don't know why it's saying it's non-optimal on my situation here, but because you know I'm in the same spot that I normally am. I really don't know what's going on with that.
It says that you're non-optimal on my side too.
Yeah. Well, let me see if the screen share is going to work here. Yeah, so it's given me the option to do that now. So we'll go with it doesn't tell me which one is screen 2 and which one is screen 1, but I think that's screen 2 is the other screen. So we'll give that a shot. Oh yeah, okay. Now it's telling me. All right. So I have made my screen the main screen for the video recording. And I assume that's going to break it into 2 recordings, but whatever. I can post on both. And it might be good if you mute Caleb while I go through this, unless you have a question while I'm going through any of this, and you know, feel free, either one of you, to interrupt and ask questions as we're going through.
I can't. I just see a black screen for what you're sharing. Is that what you're sharing?
Oh, I don't know if that's another. And now I've got green on my. It says connection good. Can you see it, Victor?
No.
Because it shows up on mine. That is super weird. All right, well, doesn't look like screen sharing is
whatever
working.
you did just then worked.
Oh, I turned my video on while I was screen sharing, so we'll try it again.
Yeah, it worked because it says CC Music Awards now.
Yeah. Okay, so can you see it now?
Yes.
No.
I see CC Music Awards.
But you don't see it, Victor?
No, I don't.
That is frustrating.
No.
All right. Now you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So
I think it's stuck. Can you move your mouse?
So I just switched to the blocSonic page.
No, it's images.
I saw you switch to blocSonic.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah, so
music.
Yeah, that may just be like latency potentially. Going over to Kazakhstan. I don't know. Well, I guess at some level it's not any different. I mean, assuming it's getting recorded, which is recording on my side, so I think it probably is. it's no different than if I wasn't sharing my screen and was just talking about these. So, you know, I guess again, just ask questions. And if it does freeze for you, Caleb, just let me know. So these first two, I'm just going to go over really quickly, because most of the people that are involved, well, I think pretty much everybody who's involved these days knows about these. But for anybody watching the video, and just as a reminder to people that they can use these resources, so the ccMusicAwards.com site has the previous winners and the previous nominees. So for 2020, which those were released in March, I think. We had some genres and we did albums and tracks, but the main thing here is that if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll get some regional winners as well. So this is particularly useful for anybody who's a CC Music Awards judge, because what we've decided to do with the regional winners is not allow people to win multiple years for the regional award. So basically you can come here and make sure that, you know, somebody that you're nominating for that is not, is not already a winner. And obviously this will get more complicated as the years go on, but right now we've just done one regional year. So that's all there is to look at. But then we have different categories from the different years, just because we've been kind of mixing it up, trying to, you know, see what works and what doesn't. And so you can see that, you know, the way we did it this first year is for album of the year and track of the year. We took all the genre winners and we picked from those. So, you know, part of the problem with doing it that way is that if somebody didn't really fit in a genre, then they kind of get left out. But we thought that way would just be easier than sort of like trying to figure out all of the albums and tracks that were out there. And so I just really wanted to point people back to that, because you can win the genre awards, and these are people that have, you know, are good, that, you know, people that know these genres have selected or know these regions have selected. So, you know, you can go back and look at this. And some of these, you know, could be in multiple genres. So like this one, this is like pretty rocky, definitely could be rock. So I would say don't be turned off necessarily by the genres that we sort of shoved people in, because it could be that they're not like the prototypical, stereotypical version of that genre. So I would suggest, if you're struggling to find something, take a look at some of those and you might find something. So again, didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on that. Again, people know, I think, about blocSonic. A couple things that I wanted to mention here is that we do have these charts. So those might be particularly useful. So Victor is, I didn't know that this was going to happen. And I don't know if Victor can see this, but he's #1 for today, his new album. I don't know what he is. He's also #1 for the week. And then yeah, not as high on the monthly chart. So that may be because his album hasn't been out an entire month yet. So it may not be eligible for the monthly chart. I'm not sure how that works. But we do have these charts. And of course, for the CC Music Awards stuff, we're looking for new material primarily. You know, the regional awards are, you know, a little bit different in that respect. But, you know, if you're looking for something to use in a video or something to remix, then we have these charts for, you know, the previous things. And one thing we have too, if you want to show some people some love that just they haven't gotten it on the website, we have the slow burners. So these are things that people have not been downloaded. Now, most of these are new, and that's why they're on here. So, you know, you can see these top 3 2020. Now this is a paid for track that you can't just download from the site. So I don't know how he's pulling numbers from that. I suspect this one will be up there for a long time. And again, that's if you that's the Chuck Mosley one if you're not able to see it, Victor. But then you can see again 2019, 2019, 2020. It's all of those. And like this one, I feel like I saw this one on like the monthly top charts, but it's on the slow burners because it's an overall look. So it's not really normalized. Well, it's not normalized at all by time. So that's why the 2008 and stuff. Now this particular various artist ones I think is in like a different category, or maybe it's not on here anymore. Like I feel like you can't be like, yeah, I don't think we have any other Plunderphonic stuff on blocSonic. There's something weird about this one, and maybe it's just the genre. I can't remember. But well, it also doesn't have a year, so that might be. It's not going to show up in the. So I mean, here it says 2007, but I guess when Mike developed these labels, he didn't go that far back on the 2007. So maybe I'll mention that to Mike on these slow burners. But I don't really know. I guess if you're looking for something that's not being used in a lot of videos, something that's different, then that might be a good reason to check out these slow burners. And then we have the all-time stuff, which again, much like the slow burners, it's a lot of new stuff. These all-time 40s, most of those are going to be older releases that people have had a lot of time to download. So I don't, again, want to spend a lot of time on podcasts because I definitely think that podcasts can be their own separate chat topic. But Open Metalcast, if you're into metal, and I don't know. Craig was on the week that we talked about metal at the beginning of August. I don't know if he's planning on bringing this back ever. I mean, officially he went on hiatus last summer, but he hasn't come back. There are, so if you're looking for instrumental music, Craig has, or instrumental metal specifically, he has 15 instrumental casts. And a lot of this, is it's very post-rocky. So, I think we're painting metal with a pretty broad brush on this site. And then the club metal is going to be what a lot of people think of as industrial, I think. I mean, I've listened to all of these, so I know. I mean, I wouldn't say that necessarily they're all some stuff that people would think that there's industrial, but that's definitely sort of the vibe that we're going with for there. But again, it's not a good place to look for new music. Now, he doesn't have them categorized as interviews on here, but if you want to listen to some band interviews, he does have some of those. Now, Music Manumit, we stopped doing our music show pretty early on. We just weren't getting a whole lot of hits. They were kind of disconnected from the chat shows. But again, if you want to listen to some, I tried on all of mine to like theme them. So this is like a rock theme, like songs about rain and stuff. Might be some opportunity to to find some stuff that way. But again, nothing new. The Bugcast, they come out every week. They record on Friday nights. They have a live show. They do play almost entirely Creative Commons music. Like you won't see Creative Commons anywhere on the site, I don't think. But they are, well, I mean, you will see like some tags, CC hits. So I think most of what they do, they are submitting to cchits.net, which is actually not site that I have up here, but I should. So if you want something that's, now they're not necessarily playing new releases, but they are putting out a show every week. So a lot of their stuff is going to probably be new. And but they do chat a lot about goings-ons in their life, and they live in the UK. So you could, fast forward through those points or skip ahead, or just listen to them and find out stuff about what's going on in the UK. White Market Podcast is another interview show, kind of like Music Manumit, based in Portugal. They don't release very often, but I don't know why. On the website, the last one is listed as January 1st, but if you go to their, it's not iTunes anymore, their Apple Podcast page, they actually had one that they released in April. So don't know why this went on. So if you, they're like topical things, about the public domain and about business models for musicians and stuff, but there is music on here. So like this season, they only released 2 episodes, and then they like took, 2 years off, basically a year and a half, I guess. And then, it's like once, a couple times a year that they release, but there are still some releases happening there. But certainly the back catalog might give you some ideas about net labels. Like Monster Jinx is one that they talk about a lot, and Monster Jinx is still an ongoing net label. So it could be a sign, a place to learn a little bit about the scene. Now, since we're talking about podcasts, another one that is, well, I thought that Ryno was still doing this weekly, but I guess he hasn't been tagging them. If he is, maybe he's just doing his top 10 and he's not doing the OO show anymore. He used to do a weekly show that was tagged as the OO show. Unformatted, I was involved in this for a while, and these would often happen, times that basically not the during the OO time slot. And there's an interesting history, related to like Adam Curry and such with the OO show, which is worth diving into at another time, but not here. But you can see that he does have this top 10 show that he does on Friday nights. So let's just go to the main page and maybe we can see those. So yeah, so this is the Friday night show, and he's tagging it as the OO top 10 show, but he's not tagging them as the OO show. I'm not sure why he's doing it that way, but he is still releasing them every week. And he has a little, in his chat room, a little bot where people can vote, and then that's what, it says recap the top tracks as decided by the voters in the OO chat. So I don't know how, okay, so here's that Ashley Rat, and there's that Feeling track, and then there's another Ashley Rat. Yeah, so these can be, if people wanted to go in there and vote for the same tracks every week, these could certainly be the same things every week, but they are not. Some of the, they do tend to bounce around like Digitex, but this is actually like a different track. But there's not any necessity for these things to be new again. So good for finding music, but not necessarily stuff for the CC Music Awards. So I guess the thing to do with the rest of these is point people at the net label guide. And so these over here are sort of the top level things that the net label guide has decided to point people to. We already talked about the Community Music Awards. And we also talked about Ryno because, we were talking about podcasts. And I'm not super familiar with NetWaves. Maybe I should be more familiar with that. And then some of these other ones are from this complete resource list. So those are some things to discuss. Now Jamendo isn't up there. I guess, so like this is a Netlabel guide, and Netlabels are not necessarily 100% Creative Commons. A lot of them are. We've got clongclongmoo down here, and we have discussed this before on the show, but they have a Netlabel list, and what you can see over here is, are they Creative Commons? And then some of them, so like this 14.14.14 is not Creative Commons, and this one is also not Creative Commons, but the vast majority of these Netlabels are in fact Creative Commons. So you can go through here and you can find the ones that are still alive. This one's not Creative Commons, but these two are alive and both Creative Commons. So, and then new ones on here as well. So this is, I think, a great resource. But again, if you're looking for specifically Creative Commons music, then it's not just that. And now they do list here when it was last updated, which happens to be today. So I don't know how long they get this new, this new status holds there, but presumably one of those or one of these down here, that's, if there's any down there that's listed as new, something got added today, maybe all of them. I don't know. So if you've looked at this recently, you could go back and maybe find something new. One thing that they do here that's really nice is they break it down into genres, and it's not super like fine-tuned because I think, at some level, like this chart would just be kind of useless if you had like, 47 different genres, but they do kind of break it down. It's very electronic music focused, like basically all of these are electronic music at some level other than the green. You could argue that experimental and field recording and stuff doesn't necessarily have to be electronic, but I would suggest that there is a lot of electronic music and experimental and noise stuff. And but anyway, so yeah, if you're looking for rock, then this green column is the one that you're going to be. And one thing that I find somewhat interesting is if you go down here and find blocSonic, they've actually listed us as everything, which we don't have a whole lot of like experimental and noise type stuff, but there is a little bit. So we get a little bit of all of this. This is really all I use personally clongclongmoo for. That's probably a disservice to clongclongmoo, but it's like there's only so many hours in a day. Again, if you are not doing CC Community Music Award stuff and you're looking for, but rather you're looking for something you can remix, you can do the sort by license and find stuff that does not have this no derivatives tag, the -ND. And if you want to do something that can be used commercially, you can look for stuff that doesn't have this -NC. So they've got it all broken down, which is very nice. So I am going to get a drink of water, and like I said, you guys can just interrupt me at any point, but I will just double check and make sure that you guys don't have any questions.
Well, while you guys,
go ahead.
Sorry, Doug. Your screen's totally black, so
Yeah.
yes, kind of a bummer.
Oh, well, yeah, you should have interrupted me a long time ago.
I was just chatting with Victor about it and hoping that you were seeing the chat.
No, I'm looking at the sites that I'm talking about. I'm not looking at the
I would say
screen.
that Jamendo is so annoying to upload album.
So I guess there's not any point in sharing the well, last time when I pressed start camera, you said that like fixed the screen. Did that fix it again? Caleb?
No.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess there's no point in sharing it if people can't see it. Well, maybe it'll be on the video. So, yeah, that's annoying. All right. So I'll try to keep the chat up. All right. So clongclongmoo was the one site that I was just talking about with the net labels. I think it's .net. But again, if you go to the netlabelguide.com, there will be links to much of these things. Now, there's not going to be a link to. What was that, Victor?
clongclongmoo is blocked in Kazakhstan.
Oh, that's unfortunate. What was I? Oh yeah. So the podcast that I was talking about that is active, but and it's mostly Creative Commons music is the Bugcast.org, and then I was saying that they submit everything to cchits.net. The cchits.net, I think somebody their headset is not actually plugged in, and so I'm getting some feedback on my my audio, or maybe it's just cranked up so loud that your microphone is picking it up. And you have a lot of background noise, Caleb.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had the microphone.
Yeah.
I have a huge construction project going on in my living room.
Yeah. So it's really a bummer that the screen share is not working, but hopefully it shows up fine on the video. It looks like to me that it's showing up, so who knows? But cchits.net, I'm trying to think if there's anything, worth mentioning about it, without the visuals. I guess the one thing about the cchits.net is that, again, there's not anything that suggests that this stuff is new. So like on the Daily Show, that stuff that's coming out of their archives, it's never been shared on their Daily Show before. They have these exposure shows. So you submit a track to cchits.net, and then it comes out on the Daily Show. And then they have a weekly and monthly shows. Last time I checked, the monthly show feed wasn't working, and I mentioned that to them. And I don't know, if they plan. They didn't sound like it was a super high priority thing to fix it, but yeah. So I wouldn't say that that's, again, it's a good way to find good music. Maybe you'll find some artists that you like, but it's not necessarily going to be new releases. So obviously, like the net label pages are going to have their new releases in a prominent spot. But I guess the thing to say about the focus on, since we don't have the visuals, is the best way to find new music, I think, is to use the Bandcamp Google search. And so I'll share that in the chat. Yeah, so that's funny. I was just mentioning this, and you guys were talking about it in the chat. So basically what I do is I put in a custom date range for the year that I'm searching for, Jan 1, 2020 to December 31st, 2020 in this case. And of course, we're not to December 31st, 2020 yet. But that doesn't matter. You can just keep that that range, for the rest of the year, and then you could just refresh it, whenever the next time is that you're ready to look for music. So that some rights reserved, if you click on, well, you can see in the URL that I posted it in chat that the you have the %22 sum plus rights plus reserve %22. That's the piece that's going to get you Creative Commons, and then after that, it's just whatever search term you want. So in this case, I was searching for binaural beats, but if you wanted to do a search for music in, say, Oregon, then you would just remove that thing in quotes, and you would get a new Google search string, one that looks like this, and then you can see somewhere in there. So you've got
this is awesome, Doug.
Yeah. So and if people aren't, if for some reason this isn't showing up on the video, or you can't obviously like cut and paste from the video, if you are a CC Community Music Awards judge, I posted these a long time ago in the discussion room for the judges. So I don't know if weird stuff happens when you click on them coming from Facebook. What should happen is that the initial link, like if you try to copy it, will have some weird Facebook formatting. But then once you actually post that link into the browser, not the search bar, but the whatever that, I guess the location bar, that it should remove that Facebook stuff. And in any case, it should get you to where you want to go. So you should be able to just click on those in the window. And then, that should work. So I just see that I got some Facebook messages from Gregory and Mark. So I'm going to take a look at what they are saying. So if you guys have any, thing to suggest or talk about now, what I guess would be a good time to do that. And I can see Gregory's not going to be. Oh, go ahead.
I definitely don't like Jamendo.
Yeah, Jamendo has some issues. Yeah. So So Mark and Gregory are not going to be able to make it. So we might as well, I guess, talk about Jamendo. So one problem with Jamendo is that, for finding new music, they used to do these monthly charts, which were pretty nice, best of February, best of March, best of April, but they kind of stopped doing them in May. I don't know if they're going to go back and get one for June and July. I mean, at this point, we're in September and we don't have June yet. So I think they've pretty much decided not to do them. I don't know any details about that. They haven't posted, to my knowledge, a blog about it or anything. But yeah. So what were some of your problems with Jamendo, Victor?
It's so unintuitive.
Oh, just the music itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
website looks cool, but if I'm trying to find something new, it's so hard for me.
Yeah. They, I don't think they're doing any screening. Obviously the stuff in their best of lists, they're curating, but anybody, the way it used to work, can upload to Jamendo. So, it's not really Jamendo's fault if people are just, uploading, commercial sounding music in that respect. Now the selections, those don't give a lot of good date information. You do kind of have to like on the main screen, you kind of have to click in to see if everything, your date. I think the site is kind of on the slow side. So this one's list says progressive house with ambient elements and soft vocals.
There is
And then
issue. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Same issue, just like with SoundCloud. If I'm trying to find some trip hop music, I find everything else but trip hop music.
But it's labeled as trip hop, or
It just have trip hop in their tags or in their names, but it's nothing like trip hop music.
Yeah. So
That's
people can self tag. I mean, that's going to be a problem with Bandcamp too. People can just tag whatever they want. I think that one problem that you have potentially with net labels on Bandcamp that do this is that you can, you put in default tags. So like if the label is primarily, like they do a lot of trip hop, maybe they want the label to be tagged as trip hop, but then they don't go back and remove those labels from anything that is not trip hop. But I think, to me, the best way to find specific genres is going to be to find a net label that you like in that genre and just look at their releases. I think that's going to be the best way to do that. Unless there is a site that is also sort of like dedicated to it. But most of the sites that I know about are genre agnostic. But net labels tend not to be. I mean, even though blocSonic is largely genre agnostic, like there's no metal on blocSonic. There might be some in the net blocks, which are just like mixtapes essentially from the Creative Commons scene. I can't think of too many that don't have some sort of thing. So this quote unquote records, largely sort of like acoustic punk. I mean, definitely some non-acoustic punk. We've had some of these guys when we were doing Music Manumit, had some of them on, like Choto Ghetto was on there. I know there were some others as well. I'm just scrolling through here, but I think they've got a little bit of hip hop on there, but it's primarily like, sort of the like indie rock kind of scene on that. I mean, there's just so many net labels out there, and you just kind of have to get through them. But we talked about the netlabelguide.com. Just thinking about net labels, there is Netlabel Archive.org, and it says archive in the name, but the latest thing that they archived was on August 28th, 2020. So, I mean, they're archiving things that used to exist, but the archive itself is adding stuff. So the latest archive was a net label that was around from 2005 to 2009, and they had 12 releases. It's called Natural Media. And then I don't know if they try to do one a month. The last 3 have been the last 4, the last 5, last 6. So it's starting to look like they put something up every month, but they had 2 in March. So I don't know what was going on with March. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but one of these was active from 2010 to 2013, 1990 to 2000, just 2011. That one was for 3 years. So the Netlabel Archive, again, not going to be a place to find new music, but if you're just looking for old stuff, then from a particular genre, perhaps, then that might be a good resource. Now, if you're looking to actually make music, then probably the best resource is going to be ccMixter.org. You can see that there are new, if you go to the site, new samples and new acapellas and new playlists. So if you go to the site and you get involved in the forum that they have there, you'll hear, well, I guess in the URL, if people watching the video are able to see the URL, they're called PELs, the acapellas. So if you're using, a primarily instrumental musician such as Victor, but you want to find some vocals to go on that, then this PELs page might be a good place to find some acapella vocals that you can chop up and use in your music. But they do have like full remixes on the site that you can find that would be useful for CC Community Music Awards folks. But I don't think that's sort of the primary reason that you would want to go there. And so there are, the PELs, but there's also stems. So you can, if you go to that stems page, you can they still have, oh no, that's bells, not PELs. So they have a few different tags up here, actually a lot of tags that are here on the site. So there's vocoder samples, trumpet, trombone, strings. I mean, there's too many to name off of here, but it's broken down by, instruments in some cases, or types of music, like flute, children, fretless, there's fretless and there's also guitar. So harp, kick probably is some sort of percussion. Just all sorts of stuff that you can go through there if you're looking to create music. I'm not sure what the difference, I guess the bottom one is kind of like more specific to the music, and then the top one is more genre based. So acid, I don't know if that's acid jazz or what, but acid, alternative, blues, and then they have some country labels like Brazil. So they are kind of broken down, these tags, into something that makes some logical sense, I think. You can also filter those different things by not like full license. I mean, they have it kind of dumbed down here, but you can pick free for commercial use. So if you want your to use your stuff commercially, you can make sure and do a search for materials that will allow for commercial reuse. And I don't know what this remix tree is, but I would just suggest playing around with the CC Music site and finding some stuff there if you are looking for something to create. Now, kind of like the Netlabel Archive, but not as, I guess, clear about the years and stuff and who's active and whatnot, there is the Netlabel section on archive.org. And Dusted Wax Kingdom is on there, which we spoke about last week. And And then blocSonic, we used to post there. The site got kind of slow, so I don't know if that was the main reason for Mike deciding to stop posting there, but he doesn't do that anymore. But there are a lot of net labels from back in the day that you can definitely see on here. One thing that is nice about the archive.org is you can clearly very easily filter by year. So now, doesn't necessarily mean that the release happened in 2020. It could be that it just got uploaded in 2020. But you can, in archive.org, actually put like a release date that's different than publication date. So probably this is all new stuff if you go to, and if you just click on 2020, and there have been 810 submissions in 2020. So, and it looks like those cover a variety of different genres, mostly sort of in the experimental space. Just looking at the ones that are at the top: experimental, ambient, electronic noise. There's one that's just music, and then drone. But you can do a more advanced search query on that. So yeah, so unfortunately for Victor, the Internet Archive is blocked in Kazakhstan. Yeah, so here on archive.org, it mentions that this collection hosts complete, freely downloadable / streamable, often Creative Commons licensed catalogs of virtual record labels. So again, often Creative Commons, not necessarily. Yeah, CCTrax is listed on the Netlabel guide as well. So do you want to talk about, since you posted that, Victor, do you want to talk a little bit about CCTrax? Because I don't know a lot about it.
I know not much more than you.
Okay. Yeah, so I noticed that 2 of your releases are on the front page, so that's fun.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw that, Victor.
Now I see.
Yeah, so Be Well and Asking Questions are both both on there.
There is on the right side some block marked top, and there's my release.
Oh yeah, from back in the day. Yeah, that's from 2017, right?
Oh, I don't remember.
So yeah, they might be doing the same thing that we kind of do at blocSonic, and just having like a running tally. And so then stuff that's older is going to be pushed up there. And they have, I don't know, I guess this might be exclusively what I would call electronic music, although they have electronic separate from dub, techno, house, downtempo, and ambient. I guess there is a other section. So I guess they do have rock, modern, classical, and jazz under their other section. So yeah, I don't know, where they pull, all this stuff from. So they basically, CCTrax, basically it pulls from archive.org, and it looks at Discogs, I guess. So it only picks people that from labels that are serious, because you're probably not going to register your label at Discogs if you're not serious about it. So yeah, if you're looking for electronic music, then CCTrax might be a great place to do.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I made page on Discogs for myself.
Yeah, you can.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, if you're just like a random person, like, you might not take the time to do that. Because it's pretty easy to just upload to archive.org. But if you just want to stick stuff on archive.org, like, how many more sites are you going to go to? And I mean, I guess it wouldn't really matter which site it was. It's like there's a bar of 2 places that you have to go, and just that bar of being 2 places, I think, probably eliminates a lot of the garbage. I mean, it also, like, people that are just sort of like financially motivated and maybe not musically motivated might go in multiple places. But I feel like if you're financially motivated, you're probably not posting your stuff on archive.org. Depends on your business strategy, I suppose. But archive.org tends to be pretty non-commercial oriented. So one thing I noticed here is that they do have a license option. So again, this doesn't really matter for the CC Music Awards, but if you are looking to create music and you want it to be used commercially, then you can filter by license. One thing I would note, though, about filtering this way is that even if a musician has a -NC license on their music, I would highly encourage people, if you find something you like, to reach out to that musician, because a lot of musicians are going to be interested in collaborating, even if they have a -NC. And I know this very well because at blocSonic, our default label is a -NC license, and I know plenty of blocSonic musicians would be interested in collaborating. So, but if you just went and looked for stuff that only allowed for commercial music, then you wouldn't find the blocSonic stuff. So all right, I am starting to get towards my limit of being able to talk. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to I mean, there's plenty more sites to go through, but I don't know if you guys have anything you want to share.
For me, best way to find music is the Google that blah blah blah.
Yeah, and one thing.
Bandcamp.
Yeah, one thing to say about that that site search is you can do the same thing with Jamendo or with any of these sites. That site search works for anything. Now, the some rights reserved, so I'll post this in the chat because I posted the links, but the actual Google search when I was talking about Oregon was this. But that some rights reserved piece is only useful for Bandcamp. And what that does is it removes the CC material from the non-CC material. But if you were going to search Jamendo, for example, then everything on Jamendo is Creative Commons, so you don't need that. But one thing to understand about the way Jamendo does location, if you're searching for a regional award, is that they use 3-letter country codes. Now that doesn't stop somebody from searching in, putting in their bio the country that they're from. But like if you were looking for a Polish artist, for example, you would use the 3-letter code POL. So all of the 3-letter codes is what they use on Jamendo. And so that can be difficult if you're not familiar with the country, because you might not know their 3-letter code. USA is simple, it's just USA. However, there's no state demarcation. So the way we have divided up the US for the regional awards is by region. And Jamendo is not going to be super helpful. A lot of artists don't really have good bios there. So if you do use Jamendo, then you're going to have to go digging on their Facebook pages and stuff if they even have that. So I personally find Bandcamp to be the best option, for just doing the search. Again, if you find a net label that is primarily in a single region, because like they focus on French language music, so mostly they're going to be in France, for example, then that might be a good way to do it. We had Stone Age Records, and actually they haven't really changed their name. He just started a new project, Rizkin Records. But Rizkin was based out of Indonesia, and he did have some Indonesian stuff, but a lot of his stuff was out of the US too. So it could be kind of useful if you were looking for Indonesian stuff, but there is some filtering that has to go through. One thing to mention too about the Bandcamp searches, that it's just a string pattern matching. So even though like a lot of those hits are going to be regional, then it could just be something that, like, if somebody had a song about the Oregon Trail, but they were based in Australia, then their page is going to show up wherever their song that's named Oregon Trail. So it's not completely foolproof. One thing that if you find if you have a place that is particularly there's going to be a lot of songs about it, like New Orleans, like a lot of people tag their stuff because they feel like it's a New Orleans style of music. And then there's like a lot of songs about New York. So New York and New Orleans might not be great searches, but you could, in the case of New Orleans, do, New Orleans, Louisiana, because Bandcamp uses the city and then the state. And that might be one way to do it. And with New York, I think New York is probably not a very good thing. I think New York, you're just going to have to filter, but a lot of people make music in New York, so I don't think that's a particularly like a hard one to find. Same with like California, like there's tons of musicians in Los Angeles, so that's, I don't think, a particularly hard region to find stuff, particularly on Bandcamp, which is based in the US. Canada, I know Robert has Canada. Robert Nunnally, who's been on here at least once before, they use the provinces on Bandcamp as well. So if you were searching for something from Canada, you wouldn't be able to search for Canada on Bandcamp. But outside of the US and Canada, they don't use regions. It's all city, country. And in some cases, just country if they haven't given a city. So you kind of have to play around with that a little bit. And then there are some regional sites like VK, is more popular in Russia. I don't know a lot about any of the other regional. There's probably like Baidu or something in China, but there's probably a lot of regional sites. But Bandcamp does have stuff from all over the world, but I think some places it's harder than others. So
but it works with genre great.
yeah, again, it's like people can submit whatever genre they think they are, and it might not be the same as your opinion of that genre. So you do get some misses, but yeah, it's people are good about tagging at least some stuff on there. So there are some other resources. I don't know if we want to put up doing this again for next week. I don't know if we want to just talk about like what stuff we want to put up for the vote for next week.
I have some suggestions.
Okay.
We can discuss how to write good artist bio.
Okay.
My personal interest.
Yeah.
I like it, Victor.
Yeah, scratching your own itch. I like it. I'm gonna try to get into the.
I got a fold, guys.
Okay. Did you have anything real quick before you go, as far as the
no, great
suggestions?
Chat, Doug. Lots of great information. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good one, Caleb.
Later, Victor. I'm looking forward to listening to more of your album. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. So I put the artist bio as one of the, or how to write good artist bio. I'll put that on there. I'll put finding CC music part 2 on there as another option. Any other suggestions?
It's so bad that some music available on Bandcamp for free or for free price, but it's all right reserved.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you would think they would at least use a no derivative license. But, well, I mean, all rights reserved is the default. So, you know, there's probably a decent amount of just, you know, people accepting the defaults. I think. I mean, I don't know. But you know, maybe they want to force people to come to the Bandcamp page, and you know, that way other people can't share it unless they're just sharing a link to the Bandcamp page. So that would be one reason. Where is the chat from? Can't find the chat, the vote from last week. Let's see what else, if anything else. Okay. So do you still want to talk about lyrics? That was one that you suggested last week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that on there. And then Sam had suggested doing another, or he voted for it anyway. I don't remember if he suggested it, but doing another listening party. Should I just put the listening party up for a vote again, you think?
Yeah, it will be cool.
Okay. And then that leaves, I usually try to get 5. We're on 4 right now. So
last time Dom has some awesome music. Just fucked up beats, I think.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So somebody had suggested musical juxtapositions, but that didn't get any votes. And somebody suggested mashups last week, which also didn't get any votes. I could certainly put those back on and see if they get votes this time. Yeah, I don't know what the we could do like a regional talk potentially, you know, talking about like well, actually, so we had a couple weeks ago we had Punk Up, and that got 3 votes. It was it lost from 4 votes to 3 votes. So maybe we should do Punk as the 5th option. How does that sound?
I don't have anything against punk.
You mean you don't have anything to say, or no problem with it?
No problem.
Oh yeah, we could. And then there's some, like, you know, electronic punk, that like Atari Teenage Riot, that might be of interest to you. Well, sweet. So I will go ahead and stop the video, and then if you're watching this video and you want to vote, you just search for Music Chat Sunday at noon, although we recorded this week on Saturday in Facebook, and then you can, it's a private group, but you can request to join, or you can just leave a comment in the on YouTube that you would like to join, and then I can post the link to the group in there for people to join. But we will talk to everybody next week.